Are you staring at those yellow, angular spots on your cucumber leaves and thinking, my grandma's secret milk spray will save the day? You might want to hold that milk carton. What if I told you that most popular folk remedies for this garden menace are basically useless? Today we're staging the ultimate showdown, folk wisdom versus modern science in the battle against the garden's public enemy number one, downy mildew. I promise by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which ancient secrets are just myths, and which powerful strategies will actually save your harvest from this devastating disease. What's the craziest garden cure you've ever heard? Let me know in the comments below. Let's have a laugh before we get serious. First, let's get to know our enemy. Most people call it a fungus, but here's your first surprise. Downy mildew, or Peronosporosis, isn't a true fungus at all. It's an umicete, also known as a water mold. This is a crucial difference because what works on a true fungus, like powdery mildew, often does absolutely nothing to a water mold. These guys thrive in cool, damp conditions. Think of those humid nights and dewy mornings. That's when they throw a party on your plant's leaves. They are especially notorious for destroying cucumbers, squash, grapes, basil, and onions. They start as pale green or yellow spots on the top of the leaves, and on the underside, you'll often see a fuzzy, grayish, or purplish growth. This isn't just a cosmetic issue. It's a plant killer that can wipe out your entire crop in a matter of days if left unchecked. So let's start with the most famous folk hero, the milk or whey spray. The theory sounds plausible. The proteins in milk, when they dry, are supposed to create a thin film on the leaf that acts as a barrier. Some also claim the lactic acid bacteria have antiseptic properties. Here's the hard truth. It's an incredibly weak and temporary barrier. Think of it like a thin coat of paint that washes off in the first rain or even with heavy morning dew. As a preventative measure, its effect is minimal at best. As a cure for an existing infection, it's like trying to stop a wildfire with a garden hose. The downy mildew is already inside the leaf tissue, and a surface film won't touch it. It's a nice thought, but in the fight against this aggressive pathogen, milk is simply outmatched. Next up, the baking soda solution. This is probably the biggest case of mistaken identity in the garden. Baking soda, by raising the pH on the leaf surface, can be somewhat effective against powdery mildew, which is a true fungus that lives on the surface. Gardeners hear this and assume it works for all mildews. But remember, downy mildew is a water mold, and it infects the inside of the leaf. It is far less sensitive to the surface pH changes caused by baking soda. In fact, to get a concentration of baking soda strong enough to have any effect, you risk scorching your plant's leaves, causing more harm than good. A visual you can imagine is trying to unlock your house door with your car key. They look similar, they're both keys, but one is completely wrong for the job. That's baking soda versus downy mildew. Let's talk about the herbal concoctions like garlic sprays, horsetail tea, or onion peel brews. The logic here is that these plants contain natural antifungal and antibacterial compounds, like sulfur in garlic or silica in horsetail. And it's true, they do. In a concentrated, lab-extracted form, these compounds can be potent. But in a homemade water-based infusion, the concentration is incredibly low and highly unstable. It's not potent enough to kill the resilient spores of downy mildew or halt its rapid spread. Using a garlic spray against a severe downy mildew outbreak is like taking a vitamin C tablet to cure pneumonia. It might have some mild preventative benefits, but it is not a medicine for a serious illness. It's more of a garden perfume than a plant protector. And what about wood ash? People swear by dusting their plants with wood ash. The idea is that the fine, alkaline particles create a dry and hospitable surface on the leaves, and the potassium gives the plant a little boost. While it's true that spores need moisture to germinate, the effect of an ash dusting is laughably temporary. One gust of wind, one morning dew, and it's gone. More importantly, repeatedly applying ash can drastically alter your soil's pH, making it too alkaline. This can lock up essential nutrients and harm your plants in the long run. You're risking the long-term health of your soil for a fleeting, almost non-existent benefit. It's a classic case of the supposed cure being potentially worse than the disease itself. So, if the old ways don't work, what does? Let's pivot to the first line of modern and most effective defense: smart gardening culture. This isn't about sprays or potions. It's about creating an environment where downy mildew can't survive. The number one rule is to promote air circulation. Give your plants plenty of space. Prune them to open up their structure. This helps leaves dry quickly. Rule number 2, water the soil, not the leaves. Use drip irrigation or a soaker hose. Wet leaves are an open invitation for downy mildew. And rule number 3, practice crop rotation and choose resistant varieties when you can. Don't plant cucumbers in the same spot year after year. These simple, free strategies are more powerful than any folk remedy because they prevent the problem from ever starting. Now for the really cool stuff, the biological warriors. This is where modern science gives us a natural solution that actually works. We're talking about beneficial microbes like trichoderma and especially Bacillus subtilis, also known as hay bacillus. You can buy these as powders or liquids. When you spray them on your plants, you're not applying a chemical. You're deploying a microscopic army. These good bacteria and fungi colonize the leaf surface, forming a protective biofilm. They either outcompete the downy mildew for space and nutrients, or they produce natural antibiotic compounds that inhibit its growth. Think of it as having a living, regenerating shield on your plants that's far more durable and effective than a flimsy milk film. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, an infection takes hold and you need the heavy hitters. This is where you have to make a choice. For over a century, the go-to has been copper-based fungicides. They work. Copper is a powerful biocide that kills the spores on contact. However, it must be used with care, as copper can build up in the soil over time and become toxic. The next level up is modern synthetic fungicides. These are often systemic, which is a key advantage. A contact fungicide like copper only protects where it's sprayed. A systemic fungicide is absorbed by the plant and moves through its vascular system, protecting the entire plant from the inside out, including new growth. It's the difference between a shield and a full suit of armor with a built-in immune system. So, what's the ultimate winning strategy? It's not choosing one side. It's about creating an integrated plan. Your foundation, the base of your pyramid, should always be the smart cultural practices we talked about: spacing, proper watering, and sanitation. Your next layer of defense, your primary preventative measure, should be biologicals like Bacillus subtilis, applied regularly before you see any sign of disease. Save the folk remedies for your own experiments if you're curious, but don't count on them. And at the very top of the pyramid, as a last resort to save your crop from a major outbreak, are the chemical fungicides, both copper and synthetics. A smart gardener isn't a purist. A smart gardener uses the right tool for the job at the right time to get the best results. So, the big surprise isn't that Grandma's milk spray was a bit of a myth. The real aha moment is realizing the best defense isn't a single magic bullet, but a smart, layered strategy. The most profound shift is from reacting to a disease with a spray to proactively creating a garden that resists disease from the ground up. The real enemy isn't just the downy mildew itself, but the humid, stagnant conditions that allow it to thrive. Your most powerful weapons are knowledge, prevention, and airflow. Stop relying on flimsy myths and start building a resilient garden ecosystem. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you build a better battle plan for your garden, do me a favor and hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe for more myth-busting garden guides. Now, I want to hear from you. What is your go-to strategy for preventing plant diseases? Are you team folk, team science, or a smart mix of both? Let's discuss it in the comments section below.